Welcome to the Funny Millionaires podcast, where you laugh all the way to the bank. Here's your host, Lee Lin.
So I'm so excited to welcome an actual millionaire who's actually hilarious, guys. I found a real funny millionaire this time. I'm very excited to introduce John Chow. He's somebody that I really do admire and look up to. I've shared pho with him at dotcom lunch, which I highly recommend if you're in the Southern California area. He is the OG of blogging and internet marketing, and a really funny dude with a unique outlook on how to make money being location free. So welcome, John.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing great. How are you? What are you up to today?
Very good. Just relaxing here. Just enjoying the California sun.
That's awesome. So can you tell us, what do you think about jobs?
Job. Well, I don't really have that much experience with job.
Mm-hmm.
I worked at a job for, I believe, a grand total of 8 months in my entire life.
Wow, that's amazing. How did you manage that? How is that possible?
How's that possible? Well, yeah, I guess from experience, my first job, I was at McDonald's. The first job was at McDonald's. I lasted like 4 hours before I quit.
4 hours? Why did you quit after 4 hours?
Believe it or not, I just couldn't hack it.
What was going through your brain at that time?
Oh yeah, teenager, first time jobs, the McDonald's, very common, right? But I have tremendous respect for people who can work at McDonald's because I can't. So I lasted 4 hours before I quit.
Wow.
And my second job, I was a phone solicitor for a carpet cleaning company.
Mm-hmm.
And I lasted about 3 weeks before they fired me.
Wow.
And then my last job, I sold car audio for a local stereo store called A&B Sound, and I was there for about 7 months before they fired me from that. And after that, I concluded working for someone else sucks, and I just never did it again. So that's my experience with job. So yeah.
That's awesome. What did your parents think about it? do you have traditional Cantonese Chinese parents? What did they think of you just quitting all these giant
you understand that, this is, we just out of high school and stuff like that, but typical Asian family,
mm-hmm.
they wanted me to go to college, and
mm-hmm.
get a great career,
right.
Preferably be a doctor or a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's but one of the things I would say that I guess supposedly an advantage for being an Asian family
mm-hmm.
is generally the topic of money and finance isn't really taboo as it is for a lot of Western
right.
civilization families.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Right? Money is something you generally, I notice Caucasian friends don't talk about. They don't talk about how much money they make or what
right.
they're doing, that kind of stuff. Whereas in Asian culture, making money is seems to be around a central theme. I was always told my parents, just go make a lot of money. Go make a lot of money.
Right. Exactly. And look at how awesome and successful you are now. So do your parents understand what you do? I know you're in your 50s, but we're Asian. We still care about our parents. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, yeah. What did your parents think of what you did? Internet marketing?
Yeah, basically, these days, my parents really have no idea what I do.
Right.
My dad, he just tells his friends that he sits in front of a computer and money comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
great. That's awesome.
which is really not that far from the truth.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But yeah, basically, I try to explain to them, and I said, well, basically, how I said, basically, I just tell them, how you sell, you go to a store, you buy stuff. Well, my store is online. That's basically what I say. It's on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of, they just say, yeah, guys like that. But they, I guess, like anything else, when you first start, because you're not taking the traditional path, there is some skepticism. So you need to be able to prove to them that say, this is going to make a go of it. But they were actually quite supportive, and that helped a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so, of course, these days they don't question it because they already know it's a proven thing now. But when in the beginning, yeah, it was a bit of touch and go. But there was subtlety because we were hoping you'd be a doctor, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, do you just drive around your Tesla and then like throw around your flamethrower to let them know you made it?
Well, I'll be using it next week because we're going camping.
Oh, nice. Where are you guys going?
We are going to Joshua Tree National Park.
Nice.
So I'm finally going to get good use of the flamethrower. It's going to be great for starting the fire and roasting those marshmallows.
That's freaking awesome. I hope the listeners can get a chance to see his daughter Sally like just using a flamethrower and just being. I mean, did you use it or did Sally use it? I forgot. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, we unboxed it together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I fired it up first, and then I let her fire it up, and she got the hang of it right away. She was having great fun with it.
That's awesome. Listeners, when you make it like John, you can do the same thing with your daughters. Play with flamethrowers at Joshua Tree. Awesome. So can you explain to our viewers like what you do?
Well, basically, in a nutshell, I guess I am a internet marketer, which basically means that I take advantage of the power of the internet. I leverage it to help me create an audience, and then I monetize the audience by selling them various products and services. That's basically what I do. I guess the easiest way to explain it, I suppose, with Amazon, like I guess an example of how I would do it is actually something I actually do, and say like my office, I don't use any paper in my office. My office is totally paperless.
Wow.
And what I do is I use a scanner that scans everything into a PDF file. Mm-hmm. And then I put this file on Evernote online, so it's available wherever I am. Mm-hmm. So what I done was I made a video. Mm-hmm. I created a video on how I created a paperless office using this scanner. Mm-hmm. And then during the video, I posted an affiliate link to it on Amazon, so that if you click the link, you can buy the thing on Amazon. I make about $20. Mm-hmm. So I did this video with my daughter Sally, and if you were to search for paperless office mm-hmm. on YouTube, it's the #1 video.
Wow!
And apparently, about approximately 2,000 people a day. Oh, my mistake. About approximately 2,000 people a month search for paperless office.
Wow!
And since I'm the #1 video on there. Mm-hmm. Approximately half of those views go to my video. And out of those 1,000 people that watches the video, mm-hmm. I would sell about 10 scanners. Wow. Make about $20 a scanner. So this one video makes about $200 a month.
Wow.
And it's been doing this for the last 8 years because I made this video. I made that video 8 years ago.
That's amazing.
So I have this one video. So I have this one video online making $200 a month. For the last 8 years, passive income mm-hmm. that I did it once, I getting paid over and over again for it. Mm-hmm. Now, you might say, oh, that's $200 a month, that's okay. You could buy you a couple of lunches every month. But here's the key. I have over 2,000 videos on YouTube.
Mm. Wow.
Right? Now you get to see the power of this.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. So it's at 152,000 right now. I'm looking at it right now. And it's, just like you say, there you have it, folks. Yeah. That's how you think like a millionaire.
That number increases.
That's amazing. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that specific example. I hope they didn't just log off my podcast and just watch your video, but maybe they did. Who knows? So you host a dotcom lunch, and are you an immigrant? Were you born in Canada, or like did you move from a village?
I am an immigrant. My family immigrated to Vancouver, Canada when I was 7 years old.
Mm-hmm. So how did you learn English?
Oh, yeah. I learned it by watching Sesame Street, basically.
What? Wow.
Yeah, because just you kind of enter a new country where the official language is English, mm-hmm. so you're pretty much trial by fire. You want to learn to communicate. You got to learn English, and I guess luckily, when you're 7 years old, you tend to pick things up pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I imagine it'd be a lot more difficult. If I came here as an adult, because then learning English would be a lot harder. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. So, who do you think would win in a fight, Trudeau or Trump?
Trudeau or Trump? Good question. I would say simply because he's younger and stronger, probably Trudeau.
Really? What about running for president? Like, let's say they were all running for president of the world. Who do you think?
Are they running for president? Well, not because Trudeau is a better spokesperson. Like, he speaks well and he presents himself. But Trump is more the marketer, right? So when it comes to creating a marketing campaign, Trump will probably win, but he'll probably lose the debates along the way.
Really?
Yeah, because I know I have seen Trudeau speak, debate, deal with the press, and he is very, very masterful at that.
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
He's very good.
Yeah. It's hilarious because of the conversations I've heard at dotcom lunch, but okay. So, like, how did you get started in like what you do now?
It's kind of by accident, honestly. I've always been a kind of, if I want to learn something, the best way to do it, the best way to learn it is just to simply do it.
Right. Exactly.
So, so I got into the marketing purely by accident. I mean, what I did was I started a website, reaching for my bricks and mortar business, and I learned it by reading a book on how to create a website with front page. So then I just created the website. So I was dabbling around in it, and then Then I heard about blogging, and I started hearing on the major news network like CNN. I go, what's a blog? So I figured the best way to learn about blogging is just to start a blog. So that's what I did. I just started a blog, and that blog turned into what it is today.
And how many visitors do you get per month, on average?
On average, the blog has about 300,000 visitors.
Wow.
And then the email, there's like 100,000 people, about 100,000 people follow me on Twitter. Wow. Another 20,000 so on Facebook, and I believe another 150,000 are subscribed to my email list. So yeah, it's built. Listen, what I said about before about leveraging the internet to help create an audience, so that you can monetize that audience.
That's incredible. So, if you feel comfortable, answer this, but it is a little bit sensitive. But I would like to know if you're comfortable saying it. How much money does your website make for you per month?
Well, I would say during this biggest year, which was like 2 years ago, the site made about 1.6 million.
Wow, 1.6 million. That's amazing. Yeah. Wow, amazing. So thank you for just opening our eyes to what's possible, because I think a lot of people don't even know this is possible. So thank you so much for sharing that. So well, maybe I should switch gears a little bit. You really love cars. So what's your favorite car?
Well, basically, my favorite brand, of course, is a Tesla, and that's why I drive it, because I'm really, I guess I've gone all in on the environmental drive, electric car kind of theme, and the electric car used to be all about just being green and saving the environment. That's to me just a byproduct. I like it because it's so fast.
That's awesome. And I've seen your Tesla videos. Like, how's the Tesla meetup? I wanted to go, but I feel ashamed because I don't have one yet. Like, how's that meetup?
Tesla meetups are fine. They're doing one on Thursday at the when they're unveiling the Cybertruck on this Thursday.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah,
maybe
LA Cybertruck party.
Cybertruck party. All right. I'll see if I can make it. That sounds amazing. So, like, can you describe for us, like, what a day for you is like from, like, beginning to end? Like, what do you usually do in a day?
Well, generally, I guess these days it's actually not that glamorous. I wake up around 7:15 a.m., drive my daughter to school. So I drive her to school, and then I come back here to the home office. Generally check the email, then I work out for an hour at the gym at the gym at home, and then after that I just go back to my office and check the news and see what's happening, and check the site, make sure it's working. What I do is I would make a certain day of the week the virtual work day. Like there's usually a new blog post every day going up on the blog, and usually a video as well. So, but instead of like doing it once a day, what I like to do is I like to batch all my work. Like I would say, make Monday the work day,
right?
And so on Monday I would get all the blog posts ready for the entire week, and I would just like make them go live on as the days go by. So I would batch them that way. So you think people thinking that, oh, you did today's blog post. Actually, I did it like last week already. It was set to go live today.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
so
amazing.
that gives me then time to do what to give me my time freedom. So I pretty much can do like my life is my daily affair is like that. Not there's no tie down like if someone wants to call me up and say let's go for coffee, whatever, I have the option to do that.
And that's why you're on this podcast too. Yeah, we're on a Tuesday in a random afternoon.
Yep.
So yeah, that's a lifestyle freedom of it.
So I call it living the dotcom lifestyle.
I see.
That's why you talk about dotcom lifestyle. That to me means having time freedom, money freedom, and location freedom. Yeah, I find that a lot of people, I know a lot of people to make a lot of money, doctors, lawyers, but they got no time to actually enjoy the money because they're working so many hours. Right? And on the flip side, I do know people take a lot of time, but they're not working, but they also got no money, so that's kind of defeats the whole purpose of that. And even if you have time and money, like you actually, odds are you're probably tied down to some location. See, the beauty of the internet is that I'm not tied down to any one location. As long as I have access to the internet, I can log online from anywhere in the world, and I'm able to make money. And this is why I live down in California right now. That's the reason why I moved down here, because when I lived in Vancouver, we had 4 seasons. And my wife decided she didn't like the rain there. So he says, we're just going to spend summers in Vancouver, but the rest of the time, find us a new place to live. So she tasked me with finding a new place to live, and that's why I ended up in California.
Awesome. That's incredible. By the way, your wife is amazing. She gave me some advice on finding good men. She told me good men are everywhere. Yeah, she was like, yeah, good men are everywhere. Don't worry about it. So I love that. So can you share with us what do you think is a role of a wife in a successful man's life, and what kind of advice let's just start with that. Let's break it down.
Yeah, well, the thing about I wouldn't be anywhere near as successful as I am if it were not for her.
Wow!
All credit to her. She basically, it's not that she was super knowledgeable about internet marketing. She didn't know anything about that. But what she did provide me was a incredible supportive environment. She was my number one cheerleader. And she is still my number one cheerleader, and she inspires me to a level that I just didn't think possible. And if you ever come across a couple that's in sync with each other, they're almost impossible to beat. I mean, and wow. I always tell single people that says, you actually have an advantage because when you're not in a relationship, you don't have to deal with a lot of the trash and junk and mess that a lot of couples have to deal with.
Right.
So you have an advantage in that sense. But if you ever come across a couple that's in sync with each other, you're gonna have a hell of a time beating them.
That's
if not an impossible time beating them.
Wow.
It really is true. Behind every successful man, there is a woman. I don't know if you ever recently watched the Netflix series featuring Bill Gates, Inside Bill Gates' Brain.
No, I didn't get it. What is that about?
So basically, Inside Bill Gates' Brain, talking about Bill Gates and his trial and tribulation, trying to fund his foundation and trying to solve world hunger and trying to solve malaria and all these world problems that his foundation trying to solve. And of course, along the way, they also talk about how did Bill became Bill and what's his motivation and stuff. And he gave the majority of the credit to Melinda.
Wow.
So like I said, it's always true. Behind every successful man, you're going to find a woman.
Interesting. So when you say, what do you think makes a successful man, and what do you think makes a successful, I guess, a wife/woman? Do you know what I mean? What?
Yeah. You're gonna have to not the polar opposite. Basically, you need to complement each other.
Yes.
Each of you are gonna have strength and weaknesses, but you're gonna be but as a whole, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts,
right.
So to speak. And but the main thing, is just we each know our role, right? So there's not not two CEOs in the business,
right?
Like each of us have a role to do. And so by clearly defining, you do this, you do that, and I think that's the main thing. The communication channel, like she knows what she has to do to motivate me and push me forward, and I know what I have to do in order to accomplish that. But a lot of time, I need her to remind me.
That's hilarious. So how did you meet?
You suddenly cut out.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah,
okay, are we back? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, how did you meet her? How did you meet her?
Interesting. We met at a New Year Eve party at the Plaza of Nations in Vancouver.
Nice.
So she was up from Seattle with her girlfriends, and I was there with some of my friends, and we just kind of bumped into each other.
Wow, that is destiny.
That's how we met.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we were like, it was kind of like a semi-long distance thing. Me being in Vancouver, her being in Seattle, but it was still like a 2-hour difference.
That's all right. Yeah.
But it was okay. Like I was able to. I mean, it wasn't that long of a drive, and again, because my business was online, I was able to make it work because I could work from Seattle, I could work from Vancouver, and and like it's something. I guess another interesting story about that was, at that time I was still immature, not as serious as I should be, I suppose, and so she wanted to get a little more serious, and I wasn't into that at that time. So she did what most good women would do. She left and went back to China.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Just up and left and went back to China, and I thought that was it. I'd never see her again. She's gone, and I guess she said, "Your absence makes the heart go fonder." You realize I'm gone. You realize what you lost.
Right.
And I thought that was it, but then fate kind of intervened. And fate intervened. What happened there was that so she went up to Shanghai, and it's several months go by, and I'm getting ready to go to Computex, which is a trade show in Taipei. And so I go there every year, this trade show, and then I'm talking to my friend on Instant Messenger, and he asked me if I was going to be going to the competitions called Acon 4, which is being sponsored by 8-Bit, a manufacturer. It was a worldwide gaming competition, and the sponsor was inviting all these press to go and check it out after Computex. And since the company that was putting this on, I know the company, so why don't you email them and see if they'll include you? They'll take you along, because he was going too. And I asked him, well, where is this competition being held? And he told me Shanghai. Wow. And I was going like, you're kidding, Shanghai.
Right. Oh my God.
So I email 8-Bit. I email 8-Bit and say, can I come too? And they say, yeah, sure, we'd love to have you along. And then I email her and say, it says, yeah, I'm coming to Shanghai to see you.
Wow, that's awesome. That's a great story. I love that.
Interesting. Yeah, fate intervention right there.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Like, sometimes like we always see the outside success, but we don't know like who's behind the scenes, what's behind the scenes, what happens. So I'm glad that you talk about that. So like, I know Sally is young right now, but like, what advice would you give to her for dating? Like, what kind of man would you like to see her date?
Well, I guess we could say that I like to just have her be happy, but then that would be a lie. I mean, basically, obviously, we want our kids to have it easier or better than what we have, right? Absolutely. So I mean, that just built into our system. I mean, one of the reasons my dad, will work hard was to bring his family to a new country was so that I can have better opportunities, and then hopefully then I will transfer that and give my daughter better opportunities. So I like to provide her with an environment where she would grow up and be a positive, nurturing environment. And then that kind of environment would also include, of course, hanging around positive, like-minded people. Right, so I don't really worry much about if she's hanging with the wrong crowd or that kind of stuff, because right now I'm actually controlling the crowd.
I love that. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
You heard it here.
it's why she goes to the school that she goes to.
Mm.
It's why she attends the event that she attends, right?
She goes to an amazing school, by the way, for people who don't know.
she does. Like one of the reasons we recently moved was because we wanted to attend the school.
I see. That's incredible. Do you feel like it's unfair that other people who aren't Asian to be successful?
I don't think it's unfair. I think everyone has the same opportunity to be successful.
Why do you say that?
I mean, like you look at it, like I didn't came from money. Like if you look at a lot of billionaires that's on the Forbes 500 list, you'll find that the majority of them are actually self-made. They actually didn't inherit the money, and a lot of them they did it in one generation. Like Mark Zuckerberg, one generation. Elon Musk, one generation. He did it, and so they're actually quite the norm. Like, of course, like a quarter or a third of them inherited the money, and they're the one on a silver spoon. But the majority, they look at the system, they look at the playing field, and then they just took advantage of it, and then made it work for them.
That's awesome. So, like, what do you feel like is the difference between people who are broke versus people who are millionaires? Do you feel like it's a mindset thing? It's a background thing? Like, what do you think separates them?
Well, a couple of things. So mindset is definitely part of it. Like you are what you think. I do believe that. But a lot of the mindset, I believe, is also a product of the environment you're raised in. Right. So if you're raised in an environment, like say in the slums of LA, and you grew up in that kind of environment, your mindset is going to be different than someone who grows up in Beverly Hills.
Right.
So yeah, when someone says, like it's all your mind, it's all your mindset, I go, okay, that's great, but your mindset is shaped by your environment. So this is why it's really, really hard, I find, for people who come from the slum to become successful, because they're not placed in an environment that is conducive to success. And I guess this is one of the reasons why we always get here, the rich get richer. Just because the rich will provide an environment for their kids that will nurture them and help them and provide that environment for them to be successful. So they give them more opportunity and more chances. Is that fair? Probably not, but it is what it is.
So what do you think people can do to build a more successful environment? Are there books that you recommend, programs? Like
that's all part of changing your environment. Yeah. So even like you may not be able to like just suddenly move from the Bronx to Park Avenue, but you can certainly study the success and business of other people, learn from them, emulate them, find out the difference between how they think or what they're doing. And the internet has been a fantastic equalizer in that. Like anyone can literally, for the cost of a cup of coffee or just lunch, can actually start a business that can potentially turn into $1 million operation. And whereas before, to start a business, you're looking at a major capital investment, and which a lot of people, unless they're well connected or have family to turn to, cannot get access to. But I started my blog for the cost of a domain name, $10, and it turned into $1 million operation. I started my YouTube channel for nothing, because YouTube channel was free.
Right. That's incredible. Yeah, just I mean, being in dotcom lunch in that kind of environment, just hearing how you guys think is just super helpful. So so you like, because I've been to your dotcom meetups, they're really cool. And what struck me the most is how like you just do things. Like you told me like you just called Warren Buffett. Can you tell us how that experience was?
Yeah, Warren. Well, what happened was, I read about Warren was in a Fortune magazine article, and back then he was only worth about $6 billion at that time.
Only $6 billion, a mere $6 billion.
A mere $6 billion at that time. Yes. Yeah. So, and they were talking about Warren's crazy shareholders meeting and how his annual report is filled with great anecdotes about his philosophy and his investment style, and it's in his annual report. Like his letter to shareholders are famous. So I decided I'm going to get his annual report and read it. So we looked up the number for Berkshire Hathaway and found the number. So I decided to call it. And back then, apparently, Warren would more often not answer the phone himself. Because at that time, Berkshire Hathaway, I think, was like 8 people. Right,
Wow.
so I phoned the number, and then it rings, and lets you know the line goes Warren Buffett, and I'm going,
wow.
What? He goes, yes. So I go, can you send me your report? I was like, yeah, sure thing. Give me your address. So he takes my address down, and I go, yeah, thank you very much. And 2 days later, the annual report shows up.
Oh my God, that's incredible. I mean, I feel like a normal person would have so many hesitations after, like, even doing. I mean, did you even think? I mean, okay, do you just think like you want to do something and you just do it? Like, did you like?
Oh yeah, I always been a kind of learn by doing guy. I like to learn by doing. I mean, yeah, you can read books about it, dummy books about it, but the best way to do it is just to actually do it, make the mistake, and then correct it. And
So
stepping outside, stepping outside your comfort zone is always. I try to push myself to step outside my comfort zone once in a while, do something that I haven't done. Like the one time we just decided to just walk right up to Bill Gates and said hi.
Oh, you did? Oh my God, what happened?
Yeah. That was at the PC Magazine Award doing Comdex, and it was doing Comdex, and we just got finished meeting Michael Dell at his party at the Dell party.
How do you get invited to these things?
Well, one of the cool thing about having a blog is that to a lot of Fortune 500 company, you're considered the media press.
Oh,
right. So when I went to Comdex, the trade show, and I covered it as a press for my blog.
Wow.
So I got invited to all these press parties. So we got invited to the Dell party, and when we were at the Dell party, I was just wondering, I wonder will Michael Dell actually show up to his own party? And just as I said that, he walked in.
Wow.
So we got to talk to Dell for a little bit, and took a picture, and then he left, and then we went to the next party, which was the PC Magazine Awards.
Wow.
And apparently that's where we saw Michael Dell again. He was there again. He was there to receive a lifetime achievement. He was there to accept a lifetime achievement award.
Wow.
Right? So here we are. We're at this club. It was I think it was at a Rio nightclub. It was at a Rio, and we're at the club, and we see near the corner we see Michael Dell with Bill Gates and the editor in chief of PC Magazine.
What?
And they're kind of like talking to each other, and so my friend and I was like, "Hey, what if it happens? We just go walk up and say hi to them." Like,
right.
That's what we said. We still talking, but we don't. We figure they must be surrounded by. They must be the security guard must be nearby, right? They must be nearby. So I go, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's go. We just we're gonna walk right up and just say hi, and fully expecting someone to like step in front of us and say,
right. What if you're a terrorist? What if you're a suicide assassin?
Exactly.
That's what you're right.
We got two of the richest men in the world. So we walk right up. Nobody stopped us. We just went up and said hi. I go, hey Michael. I go, hi again. He goes, hi again. I go, Bill Gates, and we say hi to Bill. Yeah, it was quite interesting. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and then because at that time, my fellow editor, it was hilarious. He was a young kid, 17 years old, and he was with his parents, and the parents was just his parents were so hilarious. He was he tried to ask Bill and Michael to say, please convince my son the importance of college.
Are they stupid?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's my first.
And then the son's going, Mom, but it's Bill and Michael. They dropped out of college.
Oh my God, that's so
yeah, it was pretty hilarious. Like, the Bill and Michael just looked at each other and go. They just looked at each other and then, yeah, college is very important.
It's so funny. Oh my gosh. Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah, you find out that, there is the billionaire, but honestly, they're really just down a lot. Well, I haven't been one yet, but they're just really down to earth, regular, normal people. We just have a lot more zeros to the net worth. That's all.
I see. That's great. I think you've inspired me and a whole ton of people. Just say hi to people. That's great. So, do you feel like they did that because you were Asian? Like they felt like you couldn't be a crazy person coming up to them, or it's just they didn't care?
I always been like I guess I've always been kind of square peg in a round hole. Like I don't like I'm really not that much into conformity.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like to be the odd person now. I guess it's the way I'm wired.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Right? So like when I see something like hey, let's see what kind of mischief we can get into.
Yeah, I love that. That's
like
hilarious.
if it bombs, at least we'll have a funny video to to show.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Did you have a recording of bumping into Bill Gates or no?
Oh, like this was back then. There was no digital cameras yet.
Wow. So what year was that? Like
camera,
what is that? 19.
Complex, that'll be like 80 in the 80s.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense then. I see.
Yeah.
So you're in this interesting space where like you do know Chinese and you do, you're in America. Do you feel like there's any like differences between like Chinese millionaires versus American millionaires?
It's yeah, like I said, I guess usually the thing I notice is the cultural thing is that, like I said, the Asian millionaire tend to have no problem talking about money.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I see in the Caucasian, they still, the topic of discussion, like they'll talk business.
Mm.
They'll talk business, but they try to abstain from talking about personal wealth.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is among my circles. That's what I notice. Anything that's what I notice anyway.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. So, what do you find funny?
What I find funny?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like I find some of the strangest things funny. Like what you may not funny, I find funny. Sometime I would like the reason I bought the flamethrower because I thought it was just funny.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, here we have, like I find Elon Musk to be crazily funny.
Why?
Here's a guy who's figure, hey, let's make a flamethrower. Like,
who's the
what kind of person thinks a good idea to sell a flamethrower on the internet?
Yeah.
I mean, like eventually, I'm pretty sure it was a joke when people ask him, "What are you gonna make?" I'm gonna make a flamethrower. And people probably joking. He makes them.
That's hilarious. Have you met him?
Yes, on at Tesla events.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully this Thursday we'll get to see him again. And the thing about Musk is he's like that is he's at a stage where as a Tesla investor, I want the company to succeed, but Musk really doesn't care if Tesla succeeds or not. See, his goal with Tesla is not actually to make money from it. His goal with Tesla is to actually get the world off fossil fuel. And he has actually stated on record more than once that says that even if Tesla goes under, if we can get the world off fossil fuel, then I would consider this venture a success.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, and so, I mean, of course, it'd be great to make the company successful, but ultimately, that's not his goal. Just like his goal with SpaceX. I mean, when he created SpaceX, it wasn't to commercialize space flight or to commercialize the delivery of cargo into space or satellites. That's what they pays the bill. But the purpose of SpaceX was to actually go to Mars.
Wow.
And that's the whole goal. I mean, by going to Mars is not a very viable business venture if you think about it.
You sure about that, John? You sure?
Where's the money in going to Mars, right? So, that's why the company is called SpaceX. The X stands for exploration. So, and here he has stated that we will not go public until we have conformed up into the program that where shareholders cannot stop us from going to Mars.
That's incredible. Wow, maybe I'll go to Thursday. So let's say like you lost everything and then you had to build your business from scratch. How would you, what would be the first thing you do?
Well, you lost, basically, I don't think I'll be doing anything much different than what I've done the first time. Like I said, since I started the business really with nothing. Like I said, domain name is $10, so it wasn't like it's not like that I started a company with $1 million. I lost the company. I need to find $1 million. I don't need to find anything. I just need to basically start up a domain name. What I would do is I would find something that's hot or in need or service. I would do the same thing as I do. I would build an audience. I would build an audience using the whatever medium that's available. In my case right now is YouTube and blogging. But you can just as well use Facebook. You get to use Instagram. There's a lot of Instagram influencers that monetize their audience, and I would create an audience out of that, and then I would look at how to monetize the audience, and I would rebuild that way.
That's awesome.
So basically, no different than how I did it originally.
I see. That's great.
But I would do it faster because I wouldn't be making as many mistakes as I did the first time around.
Yeah, absolutely. So how much time, like from when you started to like when you made your first dollar, how much time did that take to make your first dollar online? I feel like that's the most important.
All right. Well, the blog, when I started the blog, it made nothing for the first 8 months. It made absolutely nothing for the first 8 months. It's zero because I didn't try to monetize. I wasn't trying to make money from it. It was just a personal blog.
Right. Yeah.
So, but when I finally decided to monetize it, 8 months later, its first month that I decided to make money from it, it made $342 bucks.
Wow, nice.
Yeah. And then 4 months after that, it hit about $3,000.
What?
And then 2 years later, it was up to $40,000 a month.
$40,000 a month. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Wow. So how do you look at like adversity and challenges and setbacks? Like how do you deal with it?
I deal with adversity in several ways. The first thing is I try to look at what's the worst possible outcome. So I look at what's the worst thing that can possibly happen. And even though it's probably likely not going to happen, it's kind of like asking a girl out, what's the worst that can happen? She'll say no.
Right.
No, the worst that happens is you stop me with a head and hit me with a hammer. Right?
That's what I do. I don't know why. That's what I do, guys.
So I look at, and then so you look at the worst possible outcome that could happen.
Right.
And then you go, okay, if you actually get the worst possible outcome, are you willing to accept that? And you answer yes, no. If I'm willing to accept that, then okay, then we can move forward with that. And if you're not willing to accept that, then I guess you don't. Knowing that the worst possible outcome probably won't happen.
That's interesting.
And the other thing you also need to do is realize that failure is a necessary ingredient for success. Like after you look at, we all learn by failing. That's how we learn. We learn by failing. A baby learning to walk, they learn by falling down hundreds of times. Yeah, so that's how you learn. You don't learn to walk by just standing up and start walking.
Right. Exactly.
So
yeah. And then you coach a lot of students. You do a lot of speaking gigs. Like, what do you think? What prevents people from starting a blog? I guess because I feel like that's the biggest barrier from what I've heard. Like, what would you say to those people who are like, oh, I don't know if I can start a blog, or like they never take action? What do you think really stops them?
I think the double. It's it's something new, unfamiliar. They don't know about it, they're not familiar with it. Right. But anyone can start a blog if you know how to use Microsoft Word. You can blog. It's pretty much the same setup. But people just come up with the greatest of excuses. I got nothing to write about. I don't have the time, or they'll come up with some kind of excuse. But the number one excuse I hear is that A, they don't have the time to do it, and B, I don't know what to write about. Yeah. But,
does it matter what people write about? Do you think you can make money online with anything, or like what do you think are the profit? I know you have a product. I actually bought one of your products that is about that, but like, what do you think is the hottest trend of the moment?
You don't need necessarily such. I always tell people just to pick something that you're passionate about, or you're experienced about, or you know something about, like you enjoy writing about it, because it's not a get rich quick scheme. So if you don't enjoy it,
it's not a get rich quick. I'm not gonna make $1 million tomorrow.
No, not a get rich quick scheme. So it's gonna take some time. It's gonna take some time. for you to build up an audience.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, first 8 months of my blog's life, it made no money.
Mm-hmm.
And even though those 8 months where I made no money, I averaged 2.2 blog posts a day, every single day,
Wow.
for 8 months straight with no money. So you gotta like what you're writing to keep that up. Otherwise, if you're just doing it for the money, or you're blogging about a topic because this is the hot topic, this is what the topic is gonna make the money, but you're not interested in it, you're not gonna start. Odds are you're not gonna stick around long enough to see it through.
Did you ever feel doubt about your blog, or did you always just know this is going to pan out if you kept going? Like, did you ever feel
I never got into it thinking that, like, is that it was never meant to make any money. It was just, that's what it's called, johnchow.com. Yeah, like it was just me. It was just like, it's whatever I was on my mind, right? So even if it made no money, I would still be blogging.
Okay, that makes sense.
Of course, first 8 months I was blogging for no money.
Right. I see. So, do you find any particular comedians funny? Do you watch comedy?
Yeah, I always like Jerry Seinfeld and I guess Jay Leno.
You like rich comedians. Guys. You even like only the rich comedians.
I guess that's the comment. They're both call guys. Like Jay Leno has a huge call collection.
Do you watch a Coffee with Jerry thing? What's it called?
Oh yeah, Comedian Coffee.
Yeah, Comedian Coffee. Do you watch
Jay
that
Leno's
one?
Garage. Right? And another thing is another thing I like about them is that they're able to be funny without being vulgar.
No. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they're not.
Yeah, they're family friendly entertainment. They never have to resort to using F words or anything like that to get a laugh.
Wow, that's smart. Yeah, I think I'm trying to do that right now, and it's quite a challenge, but I think it'll be worth it. So okay, so can you tell us more about like what dotcom lunch is for people who don't know what that meetup is about?
Oh, it was just something I started a long time ago because I work from home and it's by myself. Like if anyone who actually works by themselves or done any freelance or work from home, they understand that. Yeah. One of the biggest things they miss is the water cooler moments. Yes, where you're at work and you got friends and colleagues and you're at the water cooler, so doing that kind of stuff. So, and dotcom lunch started off from that. It allows other people who work from home to get together and have their water cooler moment.
Right. That's awesome. And then how can we find you online? How can we work with you? How can we just continue?
The easiest way is on my blog, John Chow. Feel free to email me at johnchow@johnchow.com. Facebook, John Chow, Twitter, John Chow. And maybe you search John Chow on Google. I'm on the first 10 pages, so you'll find me.
First 10. just make sure you're on the first 10. Don't go to the 11th page. So it's johnchow.com for those of us who can't spell, or ESL. So thank you so much, John. I learned so much from this podcast. I hope the listeners learn as much as I did. Thank you so much for being a great guest and legitimizing my podcast. Awesome. Finally. Thank you.